Number 6. Black Angel of Oakland Cemetery. In the quiet heart of Iowa City lies Oakland Cemetery, home to one of America's most chilling monuments, the Black Angel. Standing 8.5 feet tall, this bronze statue was erected in 1912 as a memorial for the Feldevert family. When first placed, it gleamed with bright bronze. But as the years passed, something inexplicable occurred. The angel darkened, turning a sinister jet-black color. Scientists point to oxidation. Bronze exposed to rain and air slowly changes, but locals whisper a different explanation: witchcraft, curses, and restless spirits. The Black Angel is surrounded by terrifying folklore. They say if you touch the statue on Halloween night, you will die within 7 years. If you kiss the statue directly, instant death will follow. Lovers who kiss near the angel in the moonlight are doomed to die within 6 months. Some claim the angel's eyes follow visitors as they walk past, while others report sudden chills, whispers in the darkness, and strange lights dancing around the grave. The statue was commissioned by Teresa Feldevert, a woman of European descent, to honor her son and husband buried in Oakland Cemetery. But her life was clouded in mystery and sorrow. By the time of her death in 1924, the angel had already begun to darken, and rumors swirled that her spirit had cursed the monument. Local folklore even claims that Teresa practiced occult rituals and bound her spirit to the statue, transforming what should have been a memorial into a figure of dread. Whether the darkened figure is simply the result of natural corrosion or something far more sinister, the Black Angel has become one of Iowa's most feared landmarks. Ghost hunters have captured EVPs of voices near the statue and reported cameras failing without explanation. Visitors describe overwhelming dread when standing too close, like the angel itself is watching, waiting. Number 7. Cresco Theatre and Opera House. Step inside the Cresco Theatre and Opera House, a jewel of small-town Iowa built in 1915 during the golden age of vaudeville. Designed as both a cinema and performance hall, this grand space quickly became the cultural heartbeat of Cresco, hosting plays, operas, and the newest motion pictures. Over a century later, its ornate balconies, velvet curtains, and vintage charm still whisper the glamour of a bygone era. It's even listed on the National Register of Historic Places, preserving its legacy forever. But beneath its elegant beauty lies something far darker. Performers who once graced its stage are said to have never left. Guests claim to see ghostly vaudeville actors appearing under the spotlight, rehearsing long after death. Ushers have reported a mysterious lone figure sitting quietly in the seats, vanishing the moment anyone approaches. And when the theatre is empty, footsteps echo across the stage, phantom applause rings out, and voices murmur from the balcony as if the show is still going on. Locals whisper that some spirits belong to entertainers who died tragically during the height of vaudeville, their souls forever bound to the very place that gave them purpose. Paranormal investigators have captured unexplained shadows darting across the stage and chilling EVPs. One recording captured a faint voice whispering, "Encore!" This isn't just a haunted theatre, it's a ghostly performance hall where the curtain never falls. Do you believe these spirits are reliving their glory days? Or are they waiting for one last audience to hear their applause? Number 8. Independence State Mental Hospital. The Independence State Mental Hospital, standing tall in Independence, Iowa, opened its doors in 1873, during an era when mental illness was gravely misunderstood. Built in the Kirkbride architectural style, it was designed to be a place of healing through structure and light. But what started as a beacon of hope for the mentally ill, alcoholics, and troubled individuals quickly became a house of silence, screams, and suffering. The massive brick structure with its looming towers and endless corridors housed thousands over the decades. In its earliest years, patients ranged from those with genuine mental illness to people simply deemed unfit for society, alcoholics, trauma survivors, and even women suffering from postpartum depression. Treatments were harsh and primitive: ice baths, insulin shock therapy, and electroconvulsive methods. Inmates were often locked away for life, forgotten by families, and buried in unmarked graves on the hospital's land. Unlike many asylums that fell into ruin, this one is still in operation today. While it continues as a modern psychiatric hospital, part of the structure has been turned into a museum, preserving its disturbing legacy. Walking through its preserved wards, visitors see the stark iron beds, padded rooms, and surgical equipment once used in treatments that now feel more like punishments. It's this chilling overlap of past and present that makes Independence State Mental Hospital stand apart. Patients still receive care within the same walls that once held those subjected to decades of torment. And many believe that the souls who never found peace here never truly left. A night shift nurse in the 1990s reported seeing a man in an old hospital gown walking aimlessly down a corridor. Thinking it was a confused patient, she followed him. But when he turned a corner, he vanished. Later, she described him to older staff, only to be shown an old black and white photograph of a patient who had died in the 1940s. It was the same man. Number 9. Banwell Terror Bridge. In the quiet farmlands outside Fort Dodge stands a bridge with a name that sends chills down spines: Banwell Terror Bridge. Built in the late 1800s, it was once just another rural crossing, but over time, it became stained with one of the darkest stories in Iowa's folklore. Locals whisper about a desperate mother who, overwhelmed by tragedy, carried her children onto this very bridge. In a horrifying act, she threw them into the dark waters below before leaping to her own death. Ever since, this bridge has been cursed by her memory. Visitors claim that when night falls, the air changes. Ghostly screams echo across the steel beams, chilling even the bravest hearts. Some say they've seen a pale figure of a woman standing at the edge, only to vanish when approached. Others swear invisible hands shove at their backs as if trying to push them over the railing. Drivers are warned to lock their doors and windows because countless stories tell of ghostly faces pressing against car glass, begging to be let in. But the most chilling accounts are from those who say they heard children crying beneath the bridge, though the water runs still and empty. Banwell Terror Bridge is not just a piece of history. It's a place where tragedy lingers, where grief turned into something restless, something that refuses to die. Would you dare drive across this bridge alone at midnight? Number 10. Farrar Schoolhouse. Hidden on a lonely stretch of farmland in Maxwell, Iowa, stands the Farrar Schoolhouse, a towering, red brick relic that has watched over the cornfields since 1921. For decades, this building echoed with the voices of children, chalk scraping against blackboards, and the daily rhythm of small-town life. But when the last bell rang in 2002, silence fell and something else woke up inside these walls. A local couple purchased the abandoned school, dreaming of restoring it. But almost immediately they began experiencing chilling activity. Voices whispering from empty classrooms, heavy footsteps pounding down deserted hallways, and doors slamming shut with no one around. What should have been their dream project quickly became a nightmare investigation. Visitors today report seeing shadowy figures darting across the gymnasium, apparitions of children staring from broken windows, and a dark male entity said to patrol the basement. Paranormal teams who've spent the night describe it as if the school itself is alive, feeding on fear, trapping you in a cycle of dread until dawn. The Farrar Schoolhouse is now open for overnight stays, but it's not for the faint of heart. Would you dare walk the same halls where unseen children laugh and teachers from the other side still linger? Number 11. Granger House Museum. In the quiet heart of Marion, Iowa, there stands a Victorian masterpiece, the Granger House Museum. Built in the mid-1800s, this grand brick home was once the residence of the Granger family who lived here for generations. Today, it serves as a museum and cultural centre, preserving the elegance of the Victorian era. But beyond the antique furniture, lace curtains and oil lamps lies a darker story, one that chills even the bravest of visitors. The Granger House is no ordinary museum. Locals whisper that it is one of Iowa's most active haunted sites. Guests who wander its narrow hallways often report sudden drops in temperature, as if someone unseen brushed past them. Objects are said to move without explanation, a rocking chair swaying in the parlor, doors creaking shut on their own, and even utensils clattering in the kitchen where long ago meals were once prepared. But the most unsettling tale unfolds at midnight. Visitors and staff claim to have seen the pale figure of a woman dressed in white, standing silently by the upstairs window. She doesn't move, doesn't speak, just stares into the night, as though waiting for someone who never returned. Paranormal investigators who have spent the night here recorded strange EVPs, whispers that say, "Help me," and footsteps pacing when no one was upstairs. Some believe this ghostly woman may be tied to the tragic past of the Granger family. Historical records reveal illness and early deaths within the household, tragedies that often left grief etched into the very walls of Victorian homes. Was it a mother mourning her lost child? A wife longing for her absent husband? Or is she something far older, bound to the land itself? The museum, with its preserved Victorian interiors, provides the perfect stage for these chilling encounters. Visitors come for history, but often leave with goosebumps and stories they can't explain. For paranormal explorers, the Granger House is more than just a museum. It is a time capsule where the past refuses to rest. So if you ever pass through Marion, look up at the windows after dark. You may just catch a glimpse of the lady in white, watching, waiting, haunting. Number 12. Matthias Ham House. In the quiet city of Dubuque, Iowa, stands a mansion frozen in time, the Matthias Ham House. Built in 1856 by wealthy businessman Matthias Ham, this grand home once symbolized power, wealth, and ambition. But today it carries a reputation far darker than its elegant brick walls suggest. Visitors who step inside the historic museum report unsettling encounters, phantom footsteps echoing across empty halls, icy drafts that appear without explanation, and disembodied voices whispering in the dark. In the Grand Library, some claim to have seen a glowing apparition, a presence that lingers where knowledge and secrets once filled the room. One chilling tale tells of Ham's own daughters, who guarded the house long after his death. During a stormy night, an intruder broke in. Shots were fired. The man died on the floor of the mansion. Since then, visitors say his restless spirit still roams the corridors, forever bound to the place where his life ended. The Matthias Ham House isn't just Iowa's oldest surviving mansion, it's a place where history and haunting collide. A reminder that even the most beautiful homes can hide the darkest secrets. Do you dare step inside Dubuque's haunted mansion? If this story gave you chills, hit like, share it with friends, and subscribe for more terrifying histories. Number 13. Hotel Blackhawk. In the heart of Davenport, Iowa, stands a jewel of the Mississippi, the Hotel Blackhawk. Built in 1915, it was meant to be the city's crown jewel of luxury, and it lived up to its reputation. Presidents, movie stars, and musicians walked through its elegant lobby, leaving behind echoes of a glamorous past. But today, behind the chandeliers and polished marble floors, whispers of something darker travel through the hallways. Guests don't just check in for rest, some check in for a brush with the unknown. The Blackhawk's history is steeped in triumph and tragedy. In its early years, it was a playground for the elite, but like many old hotels, it has also seen sorrow, fires, accidents, and even a period when part of the property was used for medical and hospital purposes left an imprint, and many believe restless souls. Visitors often report chilling encounters, the sound of footsteps pacing the hallways when no one is there, doors opening and slamming shut on their own, and objects that seem to slide across dressers as though pushed by invisible hands. Some have seen ghostly apparitions, blurred figures drifting past mirrors, or a shadowy presence standing at the end of a bed, watching silently before vanishing into thin air. One of the eeriest claims comes from staff who know the building better than anyone. In the hotel's upper floors, they speak of a woman in a long gown who appears late at night, wandering the corridors. Some say she was a guest who died tragically decades ago. Others believe she's tied to the days when the nearby facility treated patients, her spirit forever bound to the site. What makes the Hotel Black Hawk truly unique is the contrast. By day, it's dazzling, crystal chandeliers, velvet seating, a lobby filled with life. By night, that same elegance becomes a stage for the supernatural. Guests expecting comfort often find themselves sleeping with the lights on, waiting for dawn. The question remains, are these hauntings the product of imagination, fueled by the hotel's age and history, or are the grand halls of the Black Hawk truly home to those who never checked out? If you ever book a stay at the Black Hawk, prepare yourself. Luxury might be the least memorable part of your night. Number 14. Kate Shelley High Bridge. Just outside Boone, Iowa, the winds whisper through the steel beams of one of the most legendary bridges in American history, the Kate Shelley High Bridge. This towering landmark carries not only trains but also the weight of a story that blends heroism, tragedy, and haunting echoes of the past. The story begins in 1881 when a fierce storm washed out the railroad tracks near Moingona. A midnight passenger train was barreling towards certain disaster. But a 15-year-old girl named Kate Shelley braved the raging floodwaters, crossing a treacherous bridge in the dead of night to warn the station master. Her bravery saved more than 200 lives and made her a national heroine. The bridge was later named in her honor, a monument to courage. But with history comes mystery. Locals say the bridge and surrounding hamlet remain deeply haunted. Phantom train whistles have been reported when no train is scheduled, echoing through the night as though that doomed locomotive still races toward its fate. Visitors walking the grounds after dark have described seeing a shadowy figure of a watchman, lantern in hand, pacing the tracks. Some believe he's a railroad worker who perished in one of many accidents that plagued the site. Most chilling of all are the reports of Kate Shelley's own apparition. People claim to see a young woman in period clothing near the riverbank, her form glowing faintly before dissolving into mist. Others have heard the eerie sound of screams and cries coming from the nearby ghost town of Moingona, a once bustling hamlet now silent, save for echoes of the past. The contrast here is powerful. By day, the bridge is a symbol of bravery and history. By night, it transforms into a place of unease, where the boundaries between the living and the dead seem to blur. Paranormal investigators often describe the site as active ground, a place where trauma, triumph, and tragedy all collide. So, is the Kate Shelley Bridge haunted by restless spirits? Or is it Kate herself, forever guarding the rails she once saved? One thing's for sure. When the wind howls through Moingona, you'll feel you're not alone. Number 15. Franklin Hotel. Tucked away in the quiet town of Strawberry Point, Iowa, stands a relic of another era, the Franklin Hotel. Built in the early 1900s, its brick walls once welcomed weary travelers, businessmen, and locals looking for a taste of luxury. But while time has passed, the hotel has never truly fallen silent. Restored lovingly by Doug and Christine Schmidt, the Franklin shines once again, yet within its polished halls, whispers of the past still linger. Guests speak of a woman named Lily, a prostitute who once worked here and whose voice has never faded. Late at night, when the hallways fall still, the soft melody of a woman's song drifts through the air, gentle, almost mournful. Many say it's Lily, still performing for the men who never returned. Then there's Leo, a name etched into the Franklin's legend. He is said to linger near the old hotel bell, a mischievous spirit who cannot resist ringing it, startling staff and visitors alike. Some even swear they've seen the bell swing when no living hand is near. Furniture has been known to shift on its own, chairs scraping across wooden floors, beds shaking just enough to wake the bravest guest. And yet, despite the disturbances, the Franklin remains open for business, where visitors can spend the night not only in a historic hotel, but possibly in the company of the dead. So the question lingers, would you dare to sleep here, knowing Lily might sing you to sleep and Leo might ring in the night? And that was our chilling journey through the 15 most haunted places in Iowa, where every corner carries whispers of tragedy, mystery, and restless spirits. From abandoned asylums to ghostly hotels, these places remind us that history never truly dies. It lingers in the shadows waiting to be heard. If you enjoyed uncovering these haunted secrets, make sure to like this video, share it with fellow mystery lovers, and subscribe to Blink News, where we bring you the darkest stories, the eeriest locations, and the mysteries the world tries to forget. Which of these haunted places gave you the deepest chills? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts and maybe even feature your story in a future video. Until next time, keep your lights low and your curiosity high. Because here at Blink News, the next mystery is always just around the corner.